What is going on, everybody? Hey, apologize for being a couple of minutes late this evening. Had a couple of last minute things going on. I got one boy starting baseball, so we had our first practice this evening. I got another one that's in band and football, and his band practice is finishing up. He'll probably be walking through that front door here in just a few minutes, so pardon the interruption for that as well. But I wanted to jump on here and yeah, I mean it's Monday night. It's 9 p.m. So this is where I'm supposed to be, right? So yes, thank you very much for being here. Thank you very much for joining in the fun. And I got a couple of things this evening that I wanted to talk about. A couple of things that we'll dig into the nitty gritty on here in a little bit that have to do with um, uh, some giant. Well, they're not really circles. They're loops. They're big. They're ginormous loops. One of them happens to be a racetrack. The other one happens to be the Great Loop in here in the United States, and a couple of records that were set at both of these places over the last few weeks. One of them we'll dig a little more into than the other, but the first one I wanted to start with right out of the gate is Robert Ewan, and I'm gonna actually, while we're talking about this, I'm gonna pull it up because I want to share this with y'all. It was just incredible what this man has accomplished uh, over the last, what has it been? Well, his record time was just over 19 minutes, or 19 minutes, 19 days, excuse me. So if you're not at all familiar with the Great Loop here in the U.S., it is a loop. Let's see. I'm gonna pull this up here so y'all can see this as well. It is a loop, and it's actually on the thumbnail for tonight's live stream as well. But it's a loop that you start. I guess you could start just about anywhere you wanted to on the map, but the loop starts at the delta of the Mississippi. There's also another delta that you can use that dumps out into the Gulf of Mexico. But the point is to go from the Gulf, either around the tip of Florida or across Florida into the Atlantic, up and through New York, through I believe it's the Erie Canal, into the Great Lakes, across three or four of the Great Lakes, and then back over to the Ohio River, and the Ohio River back out to the Mississippi, or whichever route you decide to take. But essentially, you're making one giant loop on water the entire time through locks and dams and all kinds of things on a boat. And this includes open ocean travel. This includes the Mississippi River in some cases, which is a massive river. This includes the Great Lakes, which are massive lakes that have ocean-like tendencies with ginormous swells and crazy storms and things like that. And so to accomplish this 6,000-mile journey is a feat in and of itself. But to do this with with to do this at all is incredible. But to do this on top of the fact that Mr. Ewan, Robert Ewan, did this in a 16-foot flat bottom boat. 71-year-old thyroid cancer survivor Robert Ewans from Austin, Texas, has just made history by traveling 6,000 miles of the America's Great Loop in a 16-foot John boat in 19 days, 18 hours, and 50 minutes, which beat the previous record. So not only did he do this in a 16-foot boat, but he did this by himself, 6,000 miles in 19 days, 18 hours, 50 minutes, and beat the previous solo record, which means some other crazy person has done this by themselves elsewhere. But he beat the previous record by 8 hours and 50 minutes. It is absolutely incredible. So, yeah, 19 days, 18 hours, 50 minutes was his record time. So just under 20 days in a 16-foot flat bottom boat across open ocean, across the Great Lakes, down massive rivers in the United States by himself with Obviously, as you see here, just extra fuel and a few supplies and some sunshade, long sleeve shirt, and a life jacket, and he took off. I'm sure that there was more planning involved in it than that, but you look at this loop, and it is just absolutely astounding that this was even possible, let alone that he did it by himself, and he did it in this little bitty boat. So I am just astounded. I find it absolutely incredible, and it was awesome to see. The camaraderie and the amount of people that were following this journey. My Facebook feed was absolutely stuffed. Like every third post had something to do with the Great Loop or Robert or something about what was going on or an update on where he was or something that he needed or whatever. It was so cool to see see him on this journey, see him venture through this incredible path. So just wanted to share that with y'all. If you have opportunity, by all means, check him out and check out his story and this incredible journey. I really hope that someone can sit down with him at some point in the near future and just talk with him and get it on video, his story, his journey from start to finish, from the day that he decided to do this through all the preparations to the day he left to all of the hassles and the craziness that happened on his journey, how many fuel stops he had to make, all those things. I really hope that someone has that opportunity to sit down with this man, because I think it would be an incredible story to tell. So, Robert, if you would like, I would be honored to sit down with you and hear your story and pick your brain about how you went about doing this, because I think it is absolutely incredible. So, yeah, moving on from that. Yes, it is somewhat motorsports related. It's not automotive necessarily, but he did this with a little single engine flat bottom boat. It runs on gasoline. Guess what? It's motorsports. There you go. So, uh, yeah, that's our initial story of the evening. So, I do have a couple of events coming up here that I wanted to share with you. Be sure to put these on your calendar. One of them, I didn't realize it, is coming up uh, this weekend, August 9th. Roadkill Nights 2025. So if you're not familiar with this event, go look it up. Just type in Roadkill Nights 2025 and pull this up. It is an incredible event put on by Dodge. If you know the show Roadkill, you'll know that David Freiberger and Mike Finnegan, who kind of kicked off Roadkill as a TV show, are the ones who have put this event on. This year is the 10th anniversary of this event, and they do a little bit of everything. They've been sponsored by Dodge several years in the past. I believe also this year they're being sponsored by Dodge, but they actually shut down the Woodward Avenue in Pontiac, Michigan, and they drag race on the road right there on Woodward Avenue, and then right next to it, of course, they do all kinds of grudge racing, and there's thrill rides with drifting and stuff like that that goes on. Big car show, and just a really cool, fun event that goes on every year. So if you have the opportunity, if you're in the area, if you're free this weekend, I would highly recommend you go check out Roadkill Nights in Pontiac, Michigan. The other event also is coming up, but a little later, October 17th and 18th. And this is another David Freiberger event. This is the duct tape drags at Tucson Dragway in Tucson, Arizona. And it is hosted by both David Freiberger and, oh crud, I just lost his name. Where did his name go? Where'd it go? Where'd it go? Come back. Derek Bieri from Vice Grip Garage. Another incredible YouTube channel. If you have an opportunity or looking for something to watch that is wholesome, funny, and is automotive related, by all means, check out Vice Grip Garage. It's hilarious and so much fun to watch, and pretty incredible the kinds of things that he gets into when in his rescues. So yeah, check those events out. Be sure to put them on your calendar. I do think that the duct tape drags may be live streamed I have to double check on that, but I think they might be live streamed. So be sure you check that out as well. So with all that out of the way, I want to jump into our main story for the evening, which also is related to a big loop, a famous loop, one a little more motorsports related, you might say, a little more automotive related, and that is the Nürburgring. Okay, now, excuse me, kind of drying out a little bit here. I will say this about the Nürburgring: it has been the testing grounds and the proving grounds for all things sports cars for a very, very long time. It is an incredible racetrack. It is a wild racetrack with some just unheard of conditions and turns and all kinds of craziness that goes on there. But it is kind of the benchmark test for all things sports cars and all things hypercars and supercars and things like that. So when you can get to the Nurburgring with your car and test it, and have and to be able to set a record, then you have accomplished something. And so there were a handful of records broken just in the last couple of weeks with American-made vehicles setting some records. So the first was the Mustang GTD, which set the record for the fastest American-made. I don't want to make sure I get this right. It's the fastest American-made sports car around the Nürburgring with a time of 6 minutes 52.072 seconds. Absurdly fast. Okay. This is an 800 plus horsepower supercharged V8 front engine, rear drive. It is a rear transmission. It's through an 8-speed dual clutch transmission. But to come anywhere near 7 minutes on the Nürburgring is stupid fast. And for you to be sub 7 is just next level. It's incredible. One of the first cars to come close to that was the Viper ACR. With I think it was like 7 minutes 11 seconds, something like that. Somebody can correct me in the comments. But just absurdly fast vehicle, the Mustang GTD, and it set the lap times just within the last couple of weeks. And then this post came across my feed of the record being broken, broken just within the last couple of days, actually, by Corvette. Now, the Corvette Z06 came in about 20 seconds slower than the Mustang. The Z06 is the naturally aspirated version of the Corvette. It's the wide body, so it's got the big fat tires in the back. It is mid-engine rear drive with a transaxle, of course, but it came in at 711.826. So it is it obviously is slower, and I think it was also slower than the Viper ACR. But then right after that, they put the ZR1 or ZR1 on the track as well, and it beat the Mustang. Now, the ZR1 beat the Mustang. The ZR1X also beat the Mustang. And yes, the Corvette now owns the title as the fastest American production vehicle around the Nürburgring. Okay. Yes, I get that. But there's a lot of GM fanboys who are touting the Corvette as being so much faster, so much better than the Mustang, or at least that's the attitude that I have seen from some on this particular subject. And I wanted to bring some perspective to this because, yes, I understand the Corvette is faster. I will concede the Corvette is faster. Okay. But, and this is a really big but, okay? The Mustang set the record. Let's see. Set the record. Where did I have that? I had it pulled up here. Like, it was a sub 7 minute record at first, right? But it was like 6 minutes and let's see, 6 minutes and 59 seconds or something like, or just a tick over 7 minutes was their first record, and that's fast. Is That's crazy fast. Okay, the problem is it wasn't fast enough for um, Ford. So they came back to the factory. They did some tweaking, checked a few things, some tuning on the transmission and things like that, and they came back and they set the new record at 6 minutes 52 seconds. Okay, again, crazy fast. Okay, 6 minutes 52 seconds. This is an 800 horsepower front engine, rear drive, conventional pony car, obviously lightened and carbon fiber, this and that, and whatever else, right? Lots of carbon, purpose built race car for the street. Okay. The same could be said for the ZR1. Okay. Purpose built race car for the street. The difference is it's got 200 more horsepower. Okay. That's not a little bit. That's a lot. That is massive. Okay. So the Z06, let's go back. The Z06, 7 minutes, 11 seconds. Okay. And that's in the 670 horsepower naturally aspirated V8. Okay. Then the Z06, or I'm sorry, the ZR1. Okay. With 1,064. So 250, let's call it, more horsepower than the Mustang. And it only beats the Mustang by 2 seconds. And actually, less than 2 seconds if we get real picky. So 6 minutes, 52.072 seconds for the Mustang, and 6 minutes, 50.763. So less than a second and a half, the Corvette is faster than the Mustang with 250 more horsepower. Okay. Plus, it is mid engine and rear drive. So the motor is behind you, but it's in the middle of the car instead of being in the front of the car. So the weight distribution is different. The way the cars are set up is different. I do believe they're both dual clutch automatics, but just a massively a huge difference in the power to weight ratios, and the way the cars are set up for GM to be touting this as being the fastest one when it beat the Mustang by less than a second and a half. Okay, that's all I'm saying. And then you add an additional 100 horsepower. Oh no, excuse me, 200 horsepower, almost 200 horsepower for the ZR1X, which adds, it's a hypercar, not just a supercar at this point. It adds an electric motor to the front. So now it's all-wheel drive, okay? Not just rear-wheel drive, but all-wheel drive with a dual clutch automatic. And it only beat the ZR1 by a second and a half, right? 649.275 to 650.763. Yeah. So by a second and a half. Okay. And so then it beat the Mustang by less than 3 seconds. Okay. Less than 3 seconds. Now, if that were, let's say Laguna Seca, where it takes less than 2 minutes to go around the track, I would say 3 seconds is massive. Okay. Massive. But this is the Nürburgring, where there could be 20 or 30 degrees difference in temperature on opposite ends. It could be sun shining on one end of the track and an absolute downpour at the other end of the track, and you would never know it because of how massive this racetrack is. And for the ZR1 and the ZR1X to only beat the Mustang by 3 seconds or less over a 7-minute period on this racetrack is absurd to me, especially if you come out now and say, "Oh no, we beat the Mustang, we're holding the record," yes, it's factually true, but let's take some perspective with this, okay? You didn't go out and just beat the pants off of the Mustang. You beat it barely, barely. Okay. I have some GM friends. Okay, that I would love to get some feedback in the chat here. It was barely for there to be a difference of 400 horsepower, and you are only 3 seconds better. Not only that, you have four-wheel drive versus rear-wheel drive, and you're only 3 seconds better. That's pitiful. Okay, pitiful. There's a reason. There's a reason that GM went to a mid-engine Corvette. It's because they had reached the limit of what they could do with a front-engine rear-drive platform. Obviously, Dodge with the ACR, the Viper ACR, could spank the pants off of the Mustang and the Corvette for a long time now, but by a lot, by a whole lot, because they did it time and time again. um, but for you to come out and 400 more horsepower, all-wheel drive, and it is less than 3 seconds faster, is just it's half as much again horsepower. It's 50% additional horsepower and four-wheel drive instead of rear-wheel drive, and you come out as if you've beaten the world by saying that you came out and beat the Mustang GTD. Barely. Like, given particular track conditions and similar driving styles, I would imagine if you ran it again, the likelihood of the Corvette beating the Mustang again is slim, because there's only 3 seconds separating the two. Okay, and again, 3 seconds on a small 1.5 mile, 2 mile track is massive, but 3 seconds difference on a track that big is nothing. It's upshifting too early twice. Like, it's nothing. Like, you have to be perfect for 7 straight minutes. 7 straight minutes. And if you're not, someone else is faster. Period. Okay? It just baffles me. Absolutely blows me away. So there you have it. There's my rant for the evening. I do apologize if it came across a bit ranty, but I wanted to share that with you guys because it genuinely bothered me, like genuinely bothered me, that there were so many GM fans who came out and were just, ha ha, we beat the Mustang, ha ha, we're so much faster, ha ha, oh yeah, the Corvette's better, blah blah blah. Well, the Corvette's barely better, less than a second and a half, with comparable horsepower, and really it's not even comparable. There's 200 more horsepower there, and then 400 more horsepower with the ZR1X and all-wheel drive, and you're still less than 3 seconds faster over a 7-minute long racetrack. So just go back to the drawing board, guys. Okay, go back. Matter of fact, I would be curious. You put the same driver in both cars, someone who's not related to either of the manufacturers. Okay, a third party, someone. Put them in the driver's seat of both these cars on similar condition days, and I could just about guarantee you that the margin would be even slimmer than that. Okay. Maybe he's not quite as fast in either car or both cars, rather, but I guarantee you that the margins would be even slimmer than what they are, because these cars are. For them to be that tight and be so drastically different in horsepower just doesn't make sense to me. And it doesn't make sense to me that they would be so excited, so ready to wave the victory flag, the checkered flag, for Corvette, when In reality, you only just barely won. I know, I know, I know, I know. Dom would say, whether you won by an inch or won by a mile, winning is winning. I get it. But come on, guys. This is literally just barely winning. Okay. Just barely. So there you have it. There's my rant for the day, for the evening. I feel like I'm chasing myself in circles here, so I'm gonna cut it off there. But yeah, there you go. Mustang hanging right in there with them. Okay, hanging right in there with them for sure. So uh, go check out Robert Ewan with the Great Loop. Go read up on him. It's an incredible story. And again, I really hope someone can sit him down and make a video, an interview video of him, because I think it would be an incredible story to hear, and an incredible story to listen to. Just to hear the whole process, how he went about it, where he was, what he was doing, all that good stuff. So, and then again on your calendars, October 17th and 18th, Tucson Dragway, Duct Tape Drags, hosted by David Freiberger and Derek Bierry of Vice Grip Garage. And then Roadkill Nights coming up this weekend in Pontiac, Michigan. Um, I won't be there, not this year. I'm making plans to be there next year, but hopefully there's next year for Roadkill Nights. But the 10th anniversary of Roadkill Nights, if you at all have the opportunity to go, it will be worth your while. I promise you. I promise you. Well, thank you so much for sticking with me this evening and listen to me rant and rave about Mustang versus Corvette for a few minutes. If you have any questions or comments, be sure you drop them in the chat here. And thank you so very much for hanging out with me for a little while this evening. We'll see you next week.